Hello, everybody. It's Saturday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern, and you haven't seen us with the sunglasses on recently. And that's for a big reason. We haven't had any debates on this channel, and the Cash Flow Kings Live is the number one place for any debates, discussions, and open minded conversations. We won't silence you. We won't kick you off the stream if we disagree with your opinion. But it's Saturday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern, and a lot of people are on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern right now. They're doing some naughty habits. Fiscal, could you inform me on some of these naughty habits?
So, as my fellow Altria Group investors know, you could be smoking
Mm-hmm.
and you could be drinking the Bud Light. You might be sparking up a doob.
Oh,
You could be going down to 28th and Camelback or Figueroa in LA and picking up a lady of the night.
oh.
8 p.m. is about the time they come out, from what I understand.
Well,
Only
if
know
you
that
want the
secondhand.
premium, you want the premium stock. Sometimes you got to be patient.
That's right. Patience is key. And, they would also agree that cash flow is king down there, by the way, I would tell you.
They definitely would. Very profitable.
But you could be doing those things and having a fun time, but at a great cost.
Very great cost.
Or you could be here getting real man's value for your time.
I can't put it in any better words. It's the best place to be at Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tonight we have a good one though. We're going to be having a type of topic of a video that I've been looking forward to for a while. And we labeled it as a debate, and it will be a debate, trust me. But it's also going to be more of an open-minded discussion as well. Before we get into that though, you may be wondering, what's the nice looking merchandise that I'm wearing right now? It's the new Dividend Stocks Not Drugs merchandise, the best looking merchandise for any dividend investor. So go check that out. The link's in the description. Also, we're almost at 150 subscribers, everybody.
Almost.
Wild stuff. I thank you all for the support, but the Cash Flow Kings train is choo choo choo. We're rolling right now.
Honestly, people might be saying, "Hey, your arms, and your shoulders, they're not looking quite as buff as usual." Well, you want to know why? Because I'm not wearing the Do Dividend Stocks Not Drugs tank top tonight.
That makes
So
sense.
if I'm looking a little small, that's the reason.
That makes sense. But the Do Dividend Stocks Not Drugs merchandise, it does wonders for you. It makes you look like you're on gear. But tonight we have a good one, and we're still waiting for our other guests to get in here. But it will essentially be Dividend Dude versus Stabulo. And Stabulo's an interesting fella. We've had him in the comment section for a long time friend of the channel. And it's essentially going to be MPW versus not MPW. Catholics versus convicts.
Yeah.
There's going to be arguments made.
Yep. I actually reviewed Stabulo's portfolio earlier, and just to give him, to give you kind of the summary of why he's going to be on Team MPW. His portfolio is more than 50% MPW.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
That's more than me by percentages. I don't know
that's a lot.
the dollar amount, but yeah, like it's actually a lot more than me by percentages. So
also, if anybody wants us to go over any specific topics tonight, please drop them in the comment section as well. I already have a bunch preloaded, a bunch of conversations will be had. But of course, the Cash Flow Kings is driven by the people. We want to hear what the people want to say. We don't silence you. We don't ignore what you have to say yet. We're not that big. Once we move out to Hollywood, we become really weird. We do a few cults, and we, go out with all the other financial YouTubers. Maybe then, but not now. Welcome in, everybody, though. We have Shamir in here. It's a party when Shamir's in here. We got Digital. I'm not going to try to pronounce that without getting...
He's from Germany,
that.
I think.
I see. Okay. I wasn't going to try that.
He's
Frank,
long time
whenever
Frank,
when Frank's in the chat, it's a Saturday night. Spellpack's in here. CG, another very good viewer. Double D's is in here. Double D's is backstage. Actually, he will be coming on in just a second.
Always good to have
Cody. Uncle Cody. When Uncle Cody's and Uncle Cody's in here, it's a part. This is a good joke. Rich baby daddy. Me and Uncle Cody were having some conversations about culture yesterday, and let's just say Ryan would be canceled if I said that on here. But welcome in, everybody. We have some good stuff to cover today. But Fiscal, before we get into our debate today, do we have any topics, any stocks this week that you saw go up? And we'll talk about Crocs, I'm sure, but anything big this week from out of your side of the woods?
Man, honestly, it's been an emotional roller coaster. I don't know if you were following when PayPal had a 10% drop after earnings, and they recovered it almost as quickly. It's just kind of been teasing us with these drops and these recoveries, all kind of within the same range. It's been an emotional roller coaster being a PayPal stockholder. I'll tell you that right now.
That's that's investing for you. You know, there's very emotional times. I made a full portfolio video, which should be coming out tomorrow, I think, and it was just very reminiscent, going back on some of the times, some of the stocks I bought that I don't always, give the time and attention to. Your 3Ms, the Target journey's been one to
Yeah.
remember. My Berkshire
Oh, yeah.
Hathaway position, which I'm up 95% on, my first ever stock, absolutely wild stuff.
Yep. I mean, honestly, for me, it's been mostly red this week, though, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah,
So
well,
that's just part of
Texas.
the journey.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I do have a lot of companies there in the green, but unfortunately, they're like the smallest positions. Texas Roadhouse, that was up 10% yesterday, or whatever. Yeah, I'll be profiting my $15 there. Great. But there's just a lot of stocks that I was buying in smaller increments and falling. It's just,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's been tough to be in a Altria Group shareholder lately too.
Hey, I said in the video, Altria, it's smaller position in the portfolio, but if it goes below like $40, if it hits that 39 range, I'm definitely going to be, allowing myself to buy some more. It has the cash flows to back it up. So
you're right about that. And as we say, cash flow is king.
all right, that's a very true thing, and we're going to get into our debate tonight. So should we introduce pro MPW or anti MPW? I think you should do the introduction for the MPW, or I should do the introduction for the anti MPW.
That would be more fitting, since I think that's kind of the line that we fall down, isn't it?
All right, we'll start with the youngest first. Today, I had to bring somebody on that knows a thing or two about MPW. He's been touted as a REIT analyst. You could even say that he's 50-50 that he would show up today. It's none other than reoccurring guest on the channel, Double D's Dividend Dude.
Hey.
Avid anti-MPW, anti-Tesla, very pro Joseph Carlson style. Welcome in, Double D's. This is going to be a good night.
Bro, Joseph, you didn't have to say that. I mean, I'd say I have my own style,
It's part of I meant like heavily inspired. I mean, who isn't? Who isn't inspired by Joseph Carlson these days?
Yeah, wait. Before we start, I thought it was gonna be me and Ryan versus Fiscal and Jordan, not me versus Jordan.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Little 2v2 action.
I'd introduce you in.
All right, yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah,
All right,
Ryan's gonna be your hype man, and I'm gonna be Jordan's hype man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm waiting for the Bruce Buffer intro, Fiscal.
All right.
UFC fight night.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from the United Kingdom, the legendary cigar butt falling knives investor himself, Jordan, aka Stabulo.
Hello, everyone.
It's a party when Stabulo's in here. I've been looking forward to this. We're gonna plan to also bring on more guests and more frequent viewers of the channel as well. We're hopefully next week, me and Fiscal are planning to, do open calls or whatever. So there's a 50-50 chance you guys will get on.
50.
Yeah, we're gonna we'll post the link in the chat and it's gonna be good. But we got everybody in here, the chat. All right. I think it's easy to start off, but I think we should obviously disclose our investing styles for anybody who doesn't know. Jordan, how would you like to describe your investing style? And no, you cannot say cigar butt.
Well, I follow a method called the cigar butt method of investing. Commonly
Particular
referred to as the falling knives method. If it's not down 90%, I'm not interested.
Oh man.
Pretty much the same method as I follow.
Yeah.
Double D's, how would you describe your investing style to anybody who's not familiar with your game?
I'd say that I try to combine quality with I don't know if I'm like focused on dividends, but a lot of the companies I do have pay a dividend. So I'd say I'm just like focused on trying to beat the S&P 500 with the highest quality companies that grow revenues, free cash flows, and stuff over 10%, stuff like that.
To be fair, dividend is in your name.
Yeah, I do like the passive income though too. So I would say,
Yeah,
but I wouldn't
that's
say
a
I
lie
invest
for
just
anybody who
it.
says
Some could
otherwise.
say it's free money.
Some would say
Yeah. Some
It
do
is,
say
it comes
that.
out of nowhere.
taxes are fake news. So there's the main topic. We'll get right into it. MPW. Stubulo, since
MPW.
you're an actual MPW shareholder, you've done your proper due diligence. Give your thesis.
So I've been looking into it. As everyone might know, they own a lot of hospital real estate. They have about 10 billion in debt. Apparently, according to their balance sheet, 19 billion in assets in hospitals. The management are very adamant that they actually get their properties have a bigger value than what's on the balance sheet. There's also a lot of allegations of fraud. I don't believe any of them. I've looked into Viceroy stuff and Hedge Eyes, then I compare it to the litigation that MPW did against them. And if you actually look back in the old 10Qs and stuff, the stuff that they say wasn't disclosed was actually disclosed. But I would say it was a bit convoluted because they don't really refer to the names of stuff in the 10Qs and stuff. So that's basically it's too cheap, basically.
Double D's. What? Oh, Double D's.
All right.
Well,
Well,
on.
For me, what I do have to say is obviously, it could, before I say what I have to say, it could turn out well for you guys. You guys could do very well, generate great returns. It could happen. I'd say it's 50-50 that it does happen.
Guarantee 10x.
That's 50-50. 50% that happens, a 50% chance. No, but I think that, with MPW, I think they just have a lot of debt on their balance sheet. That's one thing. And they have about over $10 billion in debt. The company's been struggling with their largest tenant. One could even say, their largest tenant, Steward, they're struggling to pay the rent, and that's obviously a bad sign if your largest tenant cannot pay your rent and you have $10 billion in debt in the balance sheet and the company is not generating profits, they're not collecting rent. I really don't see it as a great investment, especially with the competition and also the regulatory risk with healthcare.
All right, got to fact check you on that. Just because they're not collecting 100% of the rent from Steward doesn't mean they're not collecting any rent from Steward. That's a little bit of a red herring. They are still collecting rent from Steward.
Do you know what percentage?
Steward is only behind what, 50 million?
50 million apparently.
Yeah, and what's $50 million in the scheme of things with a company that's got, like you said, 10 billion in debt and 19 billion in assets. $50 million is
actually it makes the market cap go from 10 billion to 2 billion from 50 million.
Well, I mean, I'd question the value of those properties if the companies can't pay off the full rent, unless the rent's outlandishly high, which I don't think it is. I think if the companies can't pay rent with such a in-need property, what does that say about the property? The property's purpose is a hospital. The purpose is to generate profit from that hospital. And if they can't pay the rent in full, it kind of raises that question. So saying you're going to get the full value of the assets, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, from what I could tell, the way their leases are structured, I'm pretty sure they're going to get their money back, even if Steward goes down, because they're one of the higher people up in the the hierarchy of all the debt and stuff. So
Pipeline. I mean, did you want to tell them about Pipeline?
Oh, I'm not sure what is Pipeline.
Okay, so Pipeline was a different tenant that they had that actually did go bankrupt, and they're still getting paid by Pipeline for the rent that because they fell behind on rent, went bankrupt, got restructured, but continued to operate the hospitals the MPW owns, and they are still paying off that rent to this day, even though they filed bankruptcy. MPW isn't out the money.
Oh, I feel like I've seen something reference to that, but I've not seen.
It was in the lawsuit.
Oh,
they mentioned it in the lawsuit because, again, the short sellers are catastrophizing about Steward, right? And they're pointing out that, hey, even in the event of something catastrophic happening to a tenant, we're protected, essentially.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they will get the rent money. Plus, it seems insignificant anyway, the rent money. 50 million to get back compared to 10 billion in debt. I almost suspect that the market might not even care about the tenants. I don't know. I can't make my mind up. It seems
we're gonna get an evaluation later. Trust me.
I have to say, I have a point to make though.
Oh, okay.
The company's currently trading at less than $4 a share. Right now, the interest rates are high. That does raise a question where if they need to raise capital by diluting the shareholder, they're going to be raising it at such a low price.
I mean,
Like,
also
they're
to
not
be fair,
going to be
most
getting a lot of
REITs
capital
do,
from that.
to be
much.
fair, most REITs do dilute the shareholder.
Yes.
So
But I'm
that
saying
doesn't take away from your point. Yeah.
I'm saying I know most do, but I'm saying at the current price, you're not getting as much of a return as a company like Vici or Realty Income, where even though they've traded down, they haven't traded down as much. I think that if you're diluting the shareholder at that certain price, you're going to be getting a little bit less return on your investment.
MPT isn't going. I mean,
No.
in my view, they're not going, and they haven't diluted since. Like, I don't think they've diluted
I'll
since
pull
like
dividenddata.com.
2021.
Use my link in the
Like,
description.
Yes, but I'm saying if they need to, because
It's not an option for them. The cost of equity is too high.
Yeah,
it's not a lever they can pull right now.
From so when I was looking into like all that debt on like the S&P Global stuff, it's like, I swear it's like 97% of the debt is the unsecured debt, which is that BBB plus rated one. And on their earnings call, they did say they were looking into secured debt, and they said on the October earnings call, they said in 3 to 4 quarters that they're looking to raise $2 billion in liquidity.
Yeah,
So
this is recently over the last
coming
2 years, shares outstanding wise.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that they were. I'm just saying if they need to, it's
Yeah, it's not an option. I think that's actually one of the big problems that I think's made it go down even more, because the market knows that they can't issue shares, so it becomes like a positive feedback situation downwards.
Yeah.
So
they can't pay
both of you guys are just buying MPW. Just is the main reason just due to valuation? That's the main reason?
Yes.
Right.
It's too cheap.
It's
not the dividend.
It's literally like grossly undervalued.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
How real are the risks to you guys?
I mean,
low to me.
Like it's low. Not zero. Like I'm not gonna say that the risk is zero, but I'll just say that it's disgustingly exaggerated by the market in my view.
I do remember, Fiscal, when you started your channel, I believe like last spring, I remember you mentioning MPW, and I remember it was like trading around the $10, $12 range, and I actually bought it for a school competition or whatever. We were doing like paper trading, and I came in like 4th place regionally. I swear to God, right hand to God. To pause into the
basically stock mo. I win regional stock trading contest.
Buy our course. 25 people in here, so smash the like button.
Fiscal, I like that video. There was like some Reddit video he posted. It was actually very interesting. It was actually probably one of my better videos Fiscal made. I was like very in depth on the lawsuits and stuff. But I just think like, why choose MPW? There's so many great companies out there, even companies at discounts. One could say Starbucks is a great company at a discount. Right. Like, why?
All I'm saying is MPW is great to me.
No, but like what you're talking about is getting a pretty decent company at like a 10% discount or something. We're talking about like an 80% discount.
But you don't think it's a value trap?
Well, why would we have thousands of shares if we thought it was a value trap?
I think the price could drop in half again, for all I know, go to $1. But I'm pretty sure that price is very disconnected from the company at this point.
To be clear, both of you guys aren't investing for the dividend at this point. You're just kind of taking what you get.
No,
with it.
if they cut the dividend, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah,
if they got rid of it entirely.
I know the stuff with that. I don't think they can fully eliminate it, but I'm pretty sure if they could, they would.
I think actually with the write down they're taking on their next at their next quarterly, the one that they announced in January, I think they legally could cut their dividend because they'll show negative net income.
Yes, because somebody asked that in one of our comment sections in one of our MPW weekly recap videos, and if they can like legally, it was a comment from Kim Jong-un. I swear to God, that was his name. But in all seriousness, he asked like legally if they can cut the dividend. So Fiscal, I think if you want to answer that.
Yeah. So my understanding of the way REIT tax status works is they have to pay out 90% of what would be their taxable income, and that's going to be based on generally accepted accounting principles. So if per GAAP accounting, it doesn't matter what their funds from operations are because that's a non-GAAP measure. If they show negative net income, they should be able to eliminate the dividend legally, from my understanding of it. And I'm not a CPA, not an accountant, not an
We
analyst.
did mention a lot of
But-
stuff like that.
Fiscal, are you a guru?
Saying, even if
Yeah,
think
you
they
could say I'm a
get
guru.
rent back,
Buy my
they
course,
have to put
bro.
down.
Run my course, bro.
Double
Oh
D's.
my
I
God.
heard you respond wow to the if they'd be happy if they cut the dividend. Would you care to elaborate a little bit there? Because I think we can both kind of get on the point where dividend cuts are never a good thing, but in this situation, it might be.
I think a lot of people would buy MPW for the dividend. I think a lot of people would see the 20% yield, and I'm not saying Fiscal or Stabilo, but would just buy the company for that dividend, or companies at like high yields. So I'm just like, both of them are not buying it all for the dividend. I was just a little,
Well,
thrown off.
it's because we see a disconnect because it's the balance sheet that we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
And and we want them to preserve as much of that balance sheet value as possible. And right now, what they need to do that is cash. And one of the easiest ways for them to conserve cash is to stop paying out hundreds of millions of dollars to shareholders.
We got Uncertified Financial Rouser, another good guest in the Discord and the channel, coming in saying, how much pricing power do you have with the tenants when they're going bankrupt?
Well, funnily, they have a lot of pricing power actually because of
Oh, come
their
on.
inflation protected leases. So they might get like in more arrears with the tenants, but they should still be owed more, I suppose.
I think, I think the pricing power, sure, they have a lot of price, but they could raise the rent if they want. But the ability for them to pay it off, I think that's where it comes in question. If you have your largest tenant, like I said before, that can't pay it off in full, may it be 50 million or whatever number, how much room do you have to grow that rent? Like, I don't see that you have that much room to grow it if people are starting to not be able to pay it off.
Well, their rent escalators, right?
Yeah.
Their leases are 15-year terms with CPI-based escalators. It's not about them deciding year to year whether they raise it or not. It's built in to the master lease agreement.
Yeah, but I'm saying, wouldn't that raise more issues in the future? If it's like automatically going up, wouldn't that like raise issues with other tenants being able to pay it off if we're already seeing one struggle to pay it off?
They should cut the rent 95%, so then they definitely get rent.
They might as well. Better
man.
press. We got dividend
Oh,
growth.
but and just to that question, what was it again? The
I'll
question.
pull it up.
Oh, a lot of the tenants are actually doing quite well. It's just like two of them. I think so. It's Steward Healthcare and Prospect, but I'm pretty sure the Prospect stuff's pretty much sorted out now.
Yeah, so Prospect was in arrears, but had a plan to get back to paying rent, and it was partial payments in the fall, which they, as of the last earnings, they were paying what they agreed, and it's supposed to be back to full payments by March, and they were getting equity in Prospect for the back rent owed.
So as somebody, oh my bad. So somebody who invests in a REIT that formerly was called, not a lot of diversification, Vici Properties back in the day. There was a lot of saying that, they own too much of the Vegas Strip. If the Vegas Strip goes down or anything happens there, they're basically doomed. And they basically big claim for diversification. I'm looking right now and it says 90% of MPW's rent is coming from Steward. Do you guys know if there's any plans for them to diversify in the future?
90%.
90%. No, that's way off. It's 23%.
Yeah, no, I lied. Yep, 20%. But still,
I think it might actually be a bit lower than that because I remember reading something about they like included some like of the stuff that got written off, so it will be like closer to 90% or something like that.
My apologies. Nobody come for my head after this. I apologize. Uncertified financial advisor comes in again. Do these contractual rent raises matter when the tenants struggle?
Exactly. That was my point, basically. Like, and also just in general, like if you have so many issues with a company, like I'm just like hearing a bunch of issues with the company, like the average person would want to steer clear of it. They wouldn't want to like jump into it. But I mean,
exactly.
I just think that, it's kind of like a little bit odd to be jumping in a company like this when I think there's a good chance. Maybe one could say a 50-50 chance that they go bankrupt.
Like that.
Well, I mean, the fact is that the fact that the average person is either selling out or avoiding is what created this unique value proposition to begin with.
And
Well,
I
I
like what MPW are doing for the tenants, helping them out when they're doing bad. I think they know their leases are like 15 years, as you said. As long as they get back onto the path, then that's fine. They've helped them
We
out.
also-
It's helped kicking them out.
We also got another
Okay.
point while we were on the topic of share dilution and buybacks. Do you guys know if they are going to be buying back shares at those prices? I know me and Fiscal talked about if they were to cut the dividend and do buybacks. Kind of
So-
similar with 3M situation too.
I know that buybacks were something that they actually had approved up to 300 million for buybacks in fall of 2022. They approved like 300 million or something. I don't think they ended up using the vast majority of it. They did do like
That
if
probably
you-
worked out better for them though.
Yeah,
if
they
you
knew it was
were-
going to drop.
Yeah, if you look at the shares outstanding, like you see like these tiny, like 0.5% or something reduction in shares outstanding. But it's definitely something that they've considered in the past. So I would think it could be something they would look at, because if they can't or don't want to eliminate the dividend, they're saving 20% on every share they buy back, right? And so they might decide maybe that's a good use of some of the cash that they're sitting on.
And for clarifications, when in the fall when they approved that buyback program, if it was October 2022, which I would assume it was because they was on a decline then, it was around $10 a share. It's down 67% since then, so it would definitely make sense if they were to buy back more shares.
Yeah. I don't know how I would feel about them buying back shares, because on one hand it is cheap. I want to buy more, so in theory it's good for them to buy more, but they only have so much money and they have to sell properties to get money for the debt maturities. So it will be very difficult to tell if it's a good thing. It will increase risk. I would prefer them. Plus, the debt on the open market anyway is cheaper anyway, so they can buy back more than you would think.
Yeah, that is true. So they could probably buy back a lot of their debt at a discount compared to if they wait for it to mature.
Yeah, Digital Kunst was in here early, and he said, "Please ask Jordan how badly a zero on MPW would affect him."
Okay.
And
yeah, I'm just getting it up. Okay, so if it goes to zero, my 3,091 shares valued at it's in pounds, £8,130. So that would go
dividend
down
talks
to
is under the chat.
I am dividend stokes. I'm undercover.
No, you're not shy. You're not. That's
finally-
Hey, all I'm
conspiracy.
saying is I'm stealing this later. This is going on my channel.
You better watch out. I'll put a filter on that thumbnail. Don't
He's
you
gonna
dare.
replace us both with stock pictures of dudes.
Yeah,
You will.
I'll be dividend dude. Just change the background color a little bit, and that's it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I hate to move away from MPW, but Jordan, we've talked about Target stock a little bit in the past.
I was actually watching a video on another channel about Target. I'm not sure if it is undervalued. I think it might just be valued.
It's not a cigar butt anymore though, because it's not down. Just
it went up
to
a
make
bit.
that point.
Yeah,
Just to make that
but
point.
maybe it's last puff.
Were you?
could be.
Yeah, there could one day.
Could be.
Were you ever
All I'm saying
considering
is-
buying it when it was in like the 105, 110 range in like October?
No, never Target. I was on the
Sorry.
CVS train. That's why I've got like.
Oh
Because Facebook did
yeah.
a video today. I was surprised to see it. Like right at the bottom of it, it's got like just one share of CVS, which is funny. I just had to buy it because I knew dividend dude sold his CVS, so I bought
Yeah,
one share.
I saw Nate coming with a comment a while ago. He said about 279,000 into MPW. Ride or die
yeah.
for me. So let's not be negative and depressing and say I'm going to lose everything. I will say this, Nate, though. When I was playing blackjack this year in the Bahamas, what I would do is whenever I'd go up to the machine, I'd talk about how I'm losing so much and how I've lost my last 5 games, and I'd always win. So it may be
You got to win next
maybe
time.
good karma.
They have
MPW.
AI in those machines.
Yeah, I just want to
Yeah.
say, I hope you guys do. I hope it turns out well. Hope you all get 10X's. I'm just
Oh,
like, I hope
guaranteed
that
100X.
happens. I really do hope that happens. But like, I just don't think it will. but I hope it will because I'm not a certain people who like to see people lose money. That is not me. I want people to make
To be
money.
fair, if it goes to zero, the memes, we're never gonna lift it down.
Yeah,
But if it goes up, I think if it goes up, we're going to see a
I'm gonna be
historical amount of
victory tour. Hey, just saying, like it's 36% sold
Yeah.
short. The people in my comments are starting to say it's going to be the biggest squeeze since GameStop.
Yeah.
Wait, is that like
Jeez.
I don't like look at short percentage. Is that like a ton?
36% is a lot. Yes. Like right now, I think AMC is like 5 or 6%, and people
Oh
are
wait, yes,
holding
that's
out.
crazy.
People are
Yeah.
holding out for another squeeze on that. It's not going to happen, by the way, but they're with that little, they're holding on to that hope.
That's crazy.
But no, 36 or it's 35 or 36% right now. on
Yeah, I don't really look at short interest.
And that's that's close to 200 million shares, and those guys will eventually have to buy those back to close the positions if it doesn't go to zero.
Because I know they have 600 million shares.
Yes, 600 million. So it's it's over a third. So it's around 200 million.
More than when I last checked.
Yeah.
How long? Do you know how long they can keep these shots open for? Because it always says like 7 days remaining, but I don't know.
Gosh, we should Leif Eric on the Discord. I think he knows a little bit more about like how long they can keep them open and stuff. He knows a lot about the short selling. We should ask him about that. Have him come on sometime.
The only thing about shorting I know is like when I used to.
And by the way, he's got 58,000 shares or something like that.
The views.
That's way beat. Can you imagine that dividend though? Oof.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it's free money. So.
Yeah. Speaking of, Nate comes in and talk about the long term and how he's holding the dividends as they'll rise again. How long? I know you guys are long term focused investors. Is MPW honestly one of those stocks that you could envision yourself holding for? It's one of those forever companies.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a long term investor, but my track record. Let's just say I've been in and out.
One would say it is a recovery play.
So for me, it's dependent on like the mechanism by which the share price goes up. If it ends up being like a short squeeze situation and there's just like this giant run up to like $50 a share where it's very clearly overvalued, then I'm selling out, right? But if it's a situation where it just kind of gradually recovers back to like $13 or $14 or something, like kind of closer to just its fair value based on its balance sheet, I'm probably just going to hold on to it at that point because
I've had a dilemma like that. I think the same.
Yeah,
even if it had the same uncertainty that it has right now.
So in the event of a gradual like recovery like that, it'll be because the fear is.
I know, obviously. But hey, anything can happen in the stock market and on the Cash Flow Kings live channel. I'm just saying. If they recover that from hell, then why would you? Oh, that's a good quote. That's quote of the year from Nate potentially there.
Oh,
so let me be clear. Like I'm not going to be like dumping it if it just recovers back into like a fair range, right? The mid-teens, something like that. But if we're talking like if there's like a legitimate short squeeze thing and it rockets to like $50 like AMC did back in the day, like I'm not gonna sit on $50 shares hoping hoping that it just stays there forever because it's not worth 50. Like, let's be fair, it's not worth $50 a share. We can agree on.
I think it's worth 50.
Hey, it's worth 100.
It's a 50-50 chance it gets there. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
50-50.
If it were to go up, there's going to be a documentary made on you, Fiscal.
I'll be
in your Discord.
I'm going to be an honorary mention. I've got to be.
Oh, man.
I'll be the next Keith Gill.
I will say this with MPW. My feelings have changed on it. I'm still not touching it. Trust me, I'm still not touching it. It's just not my cup of tea. And I said that because Jordan.
Well, you buy Vici. You buy Vici though.
Because there's a lot more certainty with Vici. That's the thing. I'm a pansy. I'm like Joseph Carlson.
A little bit. But it has the same risks, kind of, as MPW, in my opinion.
Like what?
So, both are supposedly critical infrastructure. One's to Las Vegas, one's for hospitals. But maybe their tenants for Vici have issues again. And then that has that negative feedback cycle, it just drops 90%. I'll be buying it if it drops 90%.
I mean, imagine.
Well, first of all, it wouldn't happen because Joseph Carlson owns it. So let's get that straight.
Oh, yeah.
So
So
and imagine that, that starts to happen in an environment where maybe there's a recession and tourism numbers for Vegas go down, and that's what's in the news. The hotels in Vegas, the occupancy is a lot lower than usual because economic issues and stuff. Could you see people turning negative on Vici and it having a similar price collapse? I could imagine that scenario.
But I think there's
So,
a big line between like there's an actual like big risk to the core business and all the fundamentals to it, and just negative sentiment around
Also,
it. I'm
Vici's
sure
properties are, like,
a
one
big
of
part of
kind.
MPW sell off is negative sentiment.
Yeah, that is the thing. The fundamentals part like isn't functionally all that much different. That's what Jordan's saying. Like it's
Oh.
mostly driven by sentiment.
Wait.
I would say they do have better properties.
Nick had
But
I just saw
it's
Nick's
alright.
comment right here. It was a great comment. Okay, no. The newest comment, I just saw it.
Oh,
That they don't depend on occupancy. Their tenants do, because they have some very large tenants with strong balance sheets, and even there was like another comment, like you said, in 2020,
okay.
they were able to pay it.
Well,
So
okay.
this is not like I'm saying almost every time they've been able to pay it. They have unique properties. Intrinsically, it's a lot of a better business. Almost everyone pays their rent on time. They're increasing it. I think it's like a triple. There's some sort of contraction.
triple net lease.
Yeah, triple net
MPW
lease
has
thing.
triple net leases.
MPW has the same thing.
Almost every major REIT we've heard of that owns properties uses triple net leases.
Even Reality Income uses it.
Yeah.
Also, for that thing that dividend growth income said, so the Las Vegas Strip shut down for 2 months in 2020. Each tenant paid its rent. The worst case has already happened. Well, one of its tenants is like publicly traded, and they diluted the hell out of their shareholders.
We could also
so maybe
make
they
the
can't do
argument.
it again.
We could also make the argument for Caesars
if it's
when
a
they
longer
filed
Here's the
for
thing.
bankruptcy in
MPW's tenants paid their rent in 2020 as well.
Hey, there was higher demand for them to also be fair.
There was
there was higher demand.
No, it's just
I'm not arguing Beach is bad, but
the problem is that on the back end, after what happened in 2020 happened, it had longer term effects on their tenants, and that's why the tenants are having trouble paying the rent now versus then, right? Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification.
I love Beach's buildings. My favorite one might be the Mandalay Bay. That one looks so nice.
And it's nothing against Vici. Like I think he'll probably do well.
We get
Just the similarity is all.
Yeah.
Wait till the Cashflow Kings viewer meetup in Vegas. We'll do it. We'll have Nick come out. We'll all go to Jeremy's house. We'll just all walk in the street so they can't do anything. We'll like walk outside of Jeremy's house and be intimidating.
But all I'm saying is my initials are also JC. So
hey,
all I'm saying.
One JC is better than the other, just my opinion.
Amen. Vici does, it's, as Nick mentioned there, gambling hospitals are the most essential.
That is true, I suppose.
It's true, but I feel like one's much more attractive to invest in is a business. Sometimes, from an investor perspective, at least.
I think
I understand
the setup.
Very true. I agree. Just because it's essential doesn't make it a good investment.
Yeah. There is one. All right. So next we're going to compare MPW's performance to Costco. I'm joking. No.
But let's compare it for like the last week, maybe, or something.
We're going to compare it to Netflix as well.
I was actually thinking the last 3 days. No, I made a joke on the Discord earlier today, and this is funny because Joseph has me blocked on Twitter, and I said on the Discord, I'm not even going to check, but I bet he said something about Texas Roadhouse and compared its performance to some like crazy company. And what do you know? He compared it to the S&P 500's performance over like the last year. It's like, oh, great, thanks, appreciate it.
I was going to send you something from his Discord that he said today. Apparently, you said you like his steaks well done, but apparently medium to medium rare. He put on the Discord. So
Joseph's he's too bland for medium rare.
You know what? Speaking of Joseph, somebody pointed out on my Discord that he apparently thinks that you get your expected return by adding your diluted EPS growth rate to your dividend yield or something. Did you see that clip, Jordan?
I did, but I didn't really understand it. Was the thing?
Yeah.
I watched it twice, but I didn't really get it.
Jordan is our narc for the Joseph Discord. Like, we'll send him in there, and we'll have him on.
Literally, he underlines
I just bring up
the
Estee Lauder.
the EPS growth rate, which was 14%, and it was Texas Roadhouse he was looking at, and then he said, so if you add this 14% EPS growth rate to your dividend yield of 2.1%, you're getting a 16% return on your investment. It's like, what? How is that the way you calculate your return? I don't understand. But maybe it's just too far above my head because Joseph is a genius stock picker, guru, master of ball trim, and I'm just a nobody that wears.
We're gonna convince Dividend dude. Dividend.
I think he was trying to say like he wasn't.
no,
all right, that's not going to be your price return, but I think he was trying to say the value that the business gets better at is like a 16% rate because of or whatever the earnings per share growth was.
You understand that you can't add your yield to your dividend to your EPS because the dividend comes out of the EPS, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know, but I think he's talking about like.
No, he literally.
It
was in my.
I didn't even watch the clip. I don't know the clip. I didn't see the clip.
Get the quote of the year ready, everybody. Get the quote of the year.
I did not see the clip, but you know,
we need to get that clip in here.
If somebody wants to get that on the Discord, I'll pull it up. He said Texas Roadhouse's total return was 16% because the EPS is 14%.
Okay, see, yeah, that never mind. If he did say that, that's not how that's not, you know. Yeah.
Dividend dude, we're gonna get you off the Joseph Carlson train. I'm convinced. As you mature, we're gonna get you off.
But
it.
You know, and Joseph Carlson,
you can still be on it. It's not gonna be as big.
He also sits there recommending changes to generally accepted accounting principles, and it's like, bro, like, get your head up out your own ass, please.
He's right and you're wrong.
MPW need to like adjust theirs, make it look profitable. In fact, no, we need them to make it look unprofitable and cut a dividend. That's what we need. We don't need gap.
With people, yeah, I Ryan's probably not welcome back in that Discord for now. Texas Roadhouse is an AI stock, to be fair. It is. Kroger's the original AI stock, but Texas Roadhouse is getting up there.
Texas Roadhouse and Crocs this week, huge.
Domino's is the number one AI stock.
Domino's is a technology company that happens to sell pizza. Quote of the year.
Yeah, I knew I should have bought Texas Roadhouse when it had that as MPIG dip.
Any Crocs love? Crocs, great earnings. No love for Crocs.
There is no love. Oh, speaking of Crocs, does Crocs have a moat?
I think it does. I mean, I could explain it again, but you know, do I have to explain it again?
Dividend dude, could you explain it again? And Jordan, I'm sure you'll have a good response.
All right. So just to say, I think it does have a moat. Do I think it's a wide moat? No, I think it's a narrow moat, but I think there is some sort of advantage in what they have in the branding they've built. I think, you know, when you think of different types of open-toed shoes or like beach shoes, Crocs is in its own kind of sector. There's sandals and there's slippers, and then there's Crocs, right? And so when you think of sandals and slippers, there's multiple companies in that little subsector. Like sandals, you probably have Nike or Adidas or a bunch of other companies at your local retail store. And then you have Crocs, which is the different sector of beach shoes, except they own 100% of that sector. And you can also customize your Crocs to look different ways with the gibbets and different things. And they own 100% of that. And
the due dividend stocks, not drugs, Crocs are coming soon, by the way.
So that's why I think that Crocs has a moat briefly. I'm not going to go like completely in depth with the branding and all the different stuff, but that's essentially the main idea there.
Yeah. I think they definitely have something for sure. It's not a wide moat, but maybe a narrow moat. I've seen too many people with Crocs on, and I don't think they're even that cheap. And also,
they're growing internationally huge, and the earnings per share wiped the estimates. They wiped the estimates. It beat, I think, by almost like 20 cents in terms of earnings per share, and the revenue slightly beat, and the international growth was great. The guidance was great, so I'm very, very happy.
Yeah, it'll be scary to invest in Crocs, but I
have to wear socks with the Crocs. I'd do that. It's comfortable. It's comfortable, unless I'm going to like the pool or something. But I'm not. Then
I might buy some Crocs now, just so I can test myself and see if they really do have a moat.
A lot of people seem to really like them that I've asked. They always say they're really comfortable to walk in. But that's all I know.
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice. I love them.
I'll give away a pair of the Due Dividend Stocks Crocs coming up if we hit 5K. Crocs investors better hope that MPW hospitals recover a large percent of their customers or healthcare workers. So fun and easy as Crocs and MPW. There could be a potential collaboration.
What if there's a
literally
merger?
that
What if Crocs buys MPW out?
True.
Acquisition.
If you share,
No,
I
I would
heard
sell. I
Apple
would sell
was
at
buying
that point if
MPW.
that happens. I don't know about that.
I heard Apple was buying MPW last time I checked, according to my sources.
true. Apple with their like amazing debt ratings just immediately gets downgraded to like the worst tier. MPW.
Ooh. No, wait, you guys should do
Everyone's like,
that.
"We got bad tenants."
You guys should make a gibbet for Crocs, like a Due Dividend Stocks Not Drugs gibbet. Like that, Finance Doc said in the comments. I just saw it, but that would be cool.
I'm struggling enough to sell the merch. I wonder how many people buy gibbets for Crocs. And I already know a lot of people buy Crocs.
But I think I do like Crocs. I think it will be a good investment, but it's risky.
I
I feel like they
Man,
could
I
go out
really
of
don't think
fashion.
it's that risky.
If they don't go out of fashion, I think it is too
I
cheap.
think that.
I will say
I really
there-
think they're going to stay.
There's a lot more longevity and proof in history with Nike, which is why I prefer Nike over Crocs.
Yeah, that's why I hesitate to give the moat label to Crocs. Like they definitely have a lot of brand interest from people. People love their Crocs. The enthusiasts love them. But if you look back, there is the possibility that it's like, and I'm not saying it's 50-50 or anything, but there's a possibility that it's a fad and it goes out of fashion at some point. Like if in the 1990s, people were crazy about Beanie Babies. I know I might be the only person old enough to remember that in here, but people were convinced that their Beanie Babies were going to go. People probably thought the company that made them had a moat back then, but it was just a popular brand at the time. And I'm just wondering if Crocs has crossed that line of just being a popular brand, or if it's truly a moat. I don't know.
Well, I have to say though, they also have Crocs, but they're also building they have different types of Crocs. Like it's not just the main one. They have there's they even have sandals that are Crocs that have different things like that. If Ryan could pull it up, that'd be great. And they also, as we saw, bought an acquisition with Hey Dude, so they're kind of they're not all of the classic clog. Obviously, that's their main selling point, but they have a bunch of different stuff too now.
Yeah.
Going straight from the source here, we're going on Crocs' website here. We can see they have boots, classic Crocs.
Yeah.
They now have height boosters for short people, glitter, all just different stuff. So I mean,
Click
if that's
the arrow. Oh man, he didn't click the arrow.
No free advertisement for Crocs on the channel unless we get sponsored. Oh, we got Steve in the chat. Welcome in, Steve. It's a party when Frank, Steve, and Shamir are in the chat. Stuff goes down. But if you guys haven't already, thank you all for the great support tonight. 30 people right now watching. Smash like.
Wow, 30. Wow.
I know we're going.
It's a record, right?
The Stabulo effect.
If you guys don't hit the like button,
if
you guys don't hit the like button and subscribe, Crocs confirmed has the widest moat ever. If you guys don't hit the like button and subscribe.
I didn't do the algorithm. I plugged the stream in a video that had MPW in the title and reviewed Jordan's portfolio.
He got a portfolio.
Full circle here on the channel. Full circle. What is your confidence in the MPW management from Fiscal and Stabulo? Because that's been a talking point for a lot of people.
I'm interested to see what Fiscal says.
Relatively high.
Yeah, mine's
I mean, do you
extremely
want me
high.
On a percentage scale, give me a percentage, and you
Give me a
can't say
percentage?
50-50.
50-50.
99%.
Somewhere probably between 80 and 90%.
Everything I've seen him say pretty much makes sense to me. So I'm going with 99%. Either that or just lying.
There's a lot of people that would call them fraudulent. There's
Careful saying that, they'll sue you.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
You've got to court.
For legal reasons
And then
that's a
Fiscal
joke.
will review this lawsuit.
My apologies.
Because there's this guy named Fraser John Paring with Viceroy
I saw
Research
that.
that called them fraudulent. he's getting hauled into federal court about it.
You know, if I go into federal court, I'm wearing the merch. I'm wearing the merch right into
the
federal
merch.
court, and they could come take me down. I'll give my entire
my
net worth
God.
away. I'll sell all my Target
funny.
stock.
Ryan shows
I'm-
up in court with due dividend stocks, not drugs merchandise.
Let's get it
The judge will appreciate it.
better.
Why is the management bad?
Yeah, a lot of people are
He says
asking why
it's
is the
bad, but
management bad.
why?
Yeah.
I can't get into specifics, and this is bad due diligence on my part, but I was hearing a lot of rumblings, especially when it was down, because when stocks go down, that means they're bad. But in all seriousness, I was hearing some rumblings about people just not sounding too confident in the management overall.
The
Specific,
main
that's my fault.
The only criticism I hear about the management that's actually true is that they spent a lot of money on private jets. Like
I did
So
see
did
that.
me,
Oh my
Kevin.
God, I saw it too.
And it's
That's
like
the 1%. for me.
and it's like, okay, but like, what does that have? Like, how is that material affecting
Yeah,
things
not
right
really.
now?
No, well, I think
That's
it's
like
kind of more
nothing in
about
the
the
grand
principle
scheme.
of it. You know, the shareholders are struggling, and you have the management and private jets.
But
I'm just saying,
they did that. That's in the past. Like it's
Yeah,
not
that
like
was like when
it's
it
not like
wasn't
the stock
struggling
dropped
before.
90%. And then they're like, time to get a private jet, bro.
Issue
Yeah.
shares. Buy a jet.
Like that's not how it happened. Like the people are just they're cherry picking like something. It's I called it a red herring in my due diligence thread that was not allowed to be posted on Wall Street Bets.
That's the one I watched. That was interesting. I like that.
Yeah,
That was good.
but yeah, it's like the private jet thing is a red herring. The CEO of Steward has a yacht, or actually no, I heard he might have 2 yachts now. But
Oh my
that's
God.
also a red herring. It's like, yeah, he's the CEO of some company that it's the biggest private healthcare. Yeah, and they might be financially struggling, but he's going to be well compensated as the CEO of that company, right?
I bet the CEO watches the Cash Flow Kings live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I just have to say.
Like newsflash, rich guy has a yacht. Wow, they must be a fraudulent company then. Like the A does not get you to B. It's like it's a non sequitur. It's not a logical progression from one thing to the other. I'm going to destroy my mic. I'm so angry.
Beater Stocks comes in and he asks, ask the pro MPW people if they think the lack of insider buys is concerning. And just because you didn't say the magic word, which is please, doesn't mean that I won't ask them. So do you guys think that the lack of insider buys is concerning with MPW? And Nancy Pelosi hasn't bought it yet, so that's a big concern too.
To me, it's just like a public relations thing. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't care to make people confident.
I think people maybe put a little bit too much emphasis on insider buying. Now, if they were selling, I don't know, like I'd probably feel pretty bad about that. But they haven't made, like, there's been no insider transactions recently, buying or selling. And the CEO does have a few million shares, so he has an incentive to, want to turn things around because it increases his net worth by quite a lot.
Yeah.
Great deal of negative information that comes from. A lot of people. It's very easy to say.
To look into stuff relating to that, and like apparently options like expire on like the 3rd week, Friday of the month. I thought there might be a news release like very perfectly timed, but I didn't see any patterns with that. But maybe there could be.
I'm not
I
going
don't digital. I know the answer to this. So if you've been watching the Discord, Steward is working on closing a deal with a new equity partner, and the bridge loan that they got from MPW was needed to not close hospitals while waiting to close on that deal. So obviously it's not in MPW's best interest if a hospital that they own shuts down while their biggest tenant is in the middle of closing a deal to bring in a bunch of new cash from a big equity partner, right? So that's why.
And a lot of these loans are like backed by a lot of like collateral as well. So even if Steward goes down, they'll probably just get stripped eventually and they'll get the money back.
All right. We're at the 5-minute. Continue, Devil D's.
I think there's also a little bit of regulatory risk. Like, I mean, just in any healthcare business, there's always that regulatory risk. Like, at a flip of a switch, a different place where MPW resides, many of its hospitals could change their laws, and that could affect it. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying it's always a risk, like another risk with it. So,
And don't forget, they have a lot of good tenants. It's just Steward that you hear about recently.
I haven't heard about another one. What would happen if another one didn't pay out their full rent and that was like news? How much would it affect it?
From here.
Oh,
all right.
That's
We're at around the 5-minute warning right now. So if you guys have any last comments, questions, concerns, we're going to get to some of the Discord questions here. Roberto asks, can we get our most muscular from Ryan before the show ends? What's that?
So that's
oh.
But you I mean, it's hard
I'm
to
not doing this.
now, but it's the one where you like clasp your hands in front and flex your shoulders, your biceps, your chest, etc.
I don't know.
And you gotta make this face while you're doing it.
I have a long sleeve shirt on, everybody. I'm sorry. It's a good pump cover.
You guys are lucky I'm a bodybuilding enthusiast and know all the poses.
Lat spread. All right, we have a few questions here from the Discord. If you guys didn't know already, if you want us to cover any topics before the actual live show, and ask them on the Discord. It's the whole place there. Matt, the Dividend Prophet, the GOAT right now when it comes to asking questions, ask if you could eat at one place for free forever, where would it be? Starbucks.
You said for
eat?
It's a hard question.
You would eat at Starbucks? Oh, come on, bro. You would not eat
at
Starbucks.
The food's trash.
Yeah, but it's eat, though.
It's a restaurant. That counts.
Oh, no. I mean, yeah.
Starbucks. Save money. Starbucks, and if I had to eat somewhere, probably Chipotle.
Somewhere for free.
So you said free forever, right?
Yeah.
Texas Roadhouse.
I can't eat there.
I was expecting.
I have an allergy.
So they don't do the peanut thing anymore. You might be able to.
Actually?
Yeah, like I've been there many times in the last few months, and they haven't had the peanuts. They haven't had them there. So I would call just to verify if it might be location specific, but
yeah,
I haven't seen a peanut there in years. So you might be safe, bro.
Yeah, give me sympathy, everybody.
But my reasons though for Texas Roadhouse: 1, they have them just about everywhere. 2, steak for free. I would abuse the shit out of that. Just saying.
But all people who like steak like that Wagyu stuff, when you just go to like those restaurants for food.
I'd probably just say a diner. They have like everything, solid food, It's a diner.
Nobody actually goes to Denny's to eat at Denny's. You end up at Denny's.
You end up at Denny's after a night of other. It's like a series of bad choices lead you to the ultimate bad choice of going to Denny's.
Yeah.
Why do people diss Denny's so much? Like, I actually don't get it.
But I don't know Denny's, so I can't diss it.
Yeah, what do we have in the UK, Jordan?
I've had it before. It's not that bad. Like, it's okay.
That's telling though if the best thing you can say about them in their defense is it's not that bad.
I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. I guess.
Jordan, what do you have in the UK that you could eat for free forever?
Well, either I'm gonna find some free Michelin star restaurant that I've never been to because they're going to be expensive, or just some local Chinese takeaway or something. I don't know.
You can appreciate the local places,
but you got to think if it's forever, you want it to be somewhere where no matter where you are, like geographically, it's still there.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah,
could go bankrupt.
Be strategic.
Maybe my Chinese gets bought out by MPW, goes bankrupt.
Wow, Nate's a full carnivore. He's a this is the average Cash Flow Kings viewer. Everybody, Nate's an alpha male. It's beef, butter, bacon, and that's a real.
Oh my god,
He's benching over 3 plates. That's
at least. We don't know how many JCs I'm lifting, do we?
That's funny. So, I eat a lot of beef and eggs too. Just saying.
Chicken eggs is great. It's great.
Joseph a lot of people made points of Joseph Carlson's weight rack in the back of his videos,
which he doesn't use.
Yeah, we ever got strong man on the channel. That's
all
a
right.
good.
All right,
I'm going to be able to continue.
I want everybody to just I want everybody to try to like just guess. What do you guys think Joseph Carlson's bench is? You can use kilograms if you want, Jordan, or stone.
I think we use pounds. Oh yeah, stones and pounds.
What?
So
Are we
I
assuming
think,
the bar is 45?
yeah. So yeah, we count the bar, and I think so. 135, it would be one plate aside, and I think I don't even think he gets one plate.
No.
135
saying-
kilograms. That's pretty heavy. What?
I think 95-pound max.
I think 95 as well.
Oh,
I
pounds,
could-
okay.
If we're going for 1 rep max, maybe he adds the 2.5-pound plates on the sides.
Maybe he gets 100.
It's all fun and games until you're making an argument with Joseph Carlson and you challenge him to a bench
Oh,
or
yeah.
squat off. The 1,000-pound club for Joseph
Right, you
Carlson
might
every
leave a comment.
exercise.
Delete that.
Double D's doesn't want to answer.
Matt also asked favorite investing books. I think reading is overrated if it's not audio books.
Oh yeah, I don't read. Only the audiobooks.
I think reading. No, come on, reading's good. It's fine. I read. I don't
Wow.
listen to audiobooks.
It's good, but I don't do it.
You save so much time though. You can just put it on.
Are you guys
the
all
background.
audiobook fans?
No.
Investing in
ones.
audiobooks. I got to get on a book that Uncertified Financial Rouser gave me too.
You know, I there is one book that's on my like to-do list. I actually want to read Strongman's book and then invite him on the show to discuss his book.
Promote it.
We'll
That's
let him plug it while we talk.
25th
Like,
episode.
yeah, I want to read it so we can debate it if we don't agree with it. But it's probably all good information, to be honest.
So Fiscal, have you ever seen how like a lot of the female like power lifters will bench? They have the crazy arch.
Oh yeah.
I bet Joseph has an arch. I mean, he's got a crazy arch, and his elbows are flaring. He's like on one side of his chest. He's like putting half of his back into it.
I will say, I haven't worked out much, but I went to the gym last week. Okay.
Good.
And I was able to bench. Not too crazy here. I was able to bench 100.
Well, the difference between
Was
you
that
and
your
Joseph
first time?
Carlson that he's a grown man. That's at least the more acceptable.
Yeah, I was able to.
Like how new are you to? I mean,
I've gone like here and there, but like regularly, I haven't really gone. I remember like a year ago when I like took benching seriously, I could bench like 80, and so I was like proud that I could bench 100. Like it went up, it didn't go down. And also, I like got a lot taller, so I don't know if that helps. My weight went up a little.
So if you're taller but you didn't gain weight, it's probably hurting your bench more than.
No, yeah. I said my weight went up. It was like my weight right now. Okay, so I'm 6'2". My weight's around 170.
Oh yeah, you're scrawny, bro. You got to put some pounds
All right,
on.
I wouldn't say scrawny. I'm not
Romance
scrawny. I'm not
Yeah.
scrawny.
Fiscal's
But,
gonna get canceled for body shaming. You better watch it. We're gonna
Yeah.
get.
I did check the
Demonetized.
BMI thing. I'm like in between underweight and normal weight, but I don't even feel like underweight. Like I feel like I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm a big basketball guy. I like playing basketball.
long as
That
you're
makes sense. You have the basketball
Yeah.
thing going on. Gotcha.
I had the flu last week, and this is like my first full week back. I went last Friday just for shits and giggles to try to recover. Oh, my strength is shot, dude. I
Mm.
only benched 185 with like not great form, and I barely got out like 5 reps. It was
Oh.
not good. But I'm hoping for 205. I'm
If
gonna
it makes-
shoot.
I mean, honestly, like I mean, this is gonna sound like a flex, but it's not. I felt like so bad only being able to do 225 for like 5 or 6 reps in the gym, like because I was like a few years ago I was doing it for like 20 something. Like it's like ridiculous how much I've fallen off from not working out and eating nachos. It's crazy.
So
So
you're
yeah.
telling me the graph of your
225
performance
is
is
good though.
looks like MPW.
I think it's good. 225.
I mean, it's okay. I mean,
Well, Fiscal has a cheat code. He's like 5'6" and 2. He's like 5'6" and built like that. It's not fair.
I've got
Stop.
I've got that Greg Doucette build. Yeah.
0. All
Yeah.
right, everybody, we're at around the 105 mark. Greatly appreciate Jordan for coming on. This was a very fun first time guest.
Thank you.
Definitely came prepared, and Double D's as well. Thank you both for coming on.
It was a
both
spirited discussion.
It was a spirited, respectful discussion, and I think the 35 people that came were very, appreciative, and I'm sure they are.
I think they got their money's worth.
Indeed, they did.
50-50 chance they got their money's worth.
Last question from Frank, because we like him here on the channel. Would you double down on a stock to lower your price entry, or would you cut off your losses? Depends on the situation.
Yeah, it depends on the stock. For Crocs, I was doubling down at 79, 80, 85. I was doing
He's referring to Pfizer. Jeez.
I mean, honestly, man.
I don't know.
I mean, let's be honest here. Pfizer is probably going to be around like 20 years from now, and it's probably going to be making more money than it is today. Like, probably you're okay to average down.
It's just so hard to tell.
Pfizer, if it's Pfizer to me is just like what? I don't know. Pfizer to me is just like another kind of like MPW Walgreens thing. I'm just not really, not really big on Pfizer.
That's wild, dude. That's wild. No. Pfizer's nothing like either of those.
No. I was just talking about like in my opinion, the quality is not like great. It's like it's kind of feels
like saved the world from the pandemic.
It depends on different factors, and
Pfizer. I mean, like I don't know. I don't know enough about pipelines to say how strong theirs is compared to like AbbVie or
AbbVie.
Another big pharmaceutical company. Yeah, right. I don't know, but
I mean, I'm just saying.
But
when you look at Pfizer's earnings per share, there's a big spike up, and then there's an extremely fast downturn right to zero. I'm just saying. I don't know, I don't know if that's normal for pharmaceuticals, but to me, that's like a red flag.
I'm questionable of how efficient they use the capital from those vaccines. That's
you need to deeply understand like the story of it,
and I don't get it enough to be honest either.
Yeah. But no, I would say though, if like the reasons that you were buying it originally are still true, and you had good reasons, and none of those reasons have gone away just because the price went down, there's no reason to sell.
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that.
And that's like, I think at the end of the day, what I was trying to get at, like, if you're trying to get out, ask yourself why. Is it because you weren't did you get in for the wrong reasons and you're just realizing now that it didn't materialize, or is it just the price is down and you don't like seeing red and you want to get out?
I think COVID gave it a rap that it's like some like great pharmaceutical business, and
it is a great pharmaceutical business, but they got a big windfall. And people, for some reason, and every business that got like a boost from COVID, everybody at the time assumed that was the new normal earnings level and would continue to grow into the future. And it's like, that's not always how things go.
Target saw with price to earnings ratio being low.
No, it went quite the opposite.
The days of Target at 220, 250 even. Oh, those were the days.
Good old days.
All right. Thank you all very much for coming in. I want to give a shout out to Steve from Car Simplified, Eddie, Shamir, Nate Highlander, the alpha male, the carnivore, definitely the most alpha male in the chat. Eric, thank you everybody once again. Tross, and Dividend Dude, promote Dividend Dude and Stabila, promote anything you guys would like.
Dividend Dude, that's about it. Just look that up. Probably find it.
Twitter and YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, I got like 30 followers on Twitter this week. I lost like 20 and then I got 30 back. It's broken.
Yeah, I think Elon's playing with the bot settings.
I don't like it. All right, Stabula, you want to promote anything? You got
Cashflow Kings hit 150 subs.
Wow.
I'll promote Cashflow Kings and Cashflow Kings. I don't know.
That's what I thought.
And also, you have to promote a particular method of investing.
Yeah.
I'd like to promote a particular method of investing.
That's the Netflix documentary. That's going to be the Netflix documentary title.
Someone should make a video on that method of investing. That would make an interesting video.
All right.
Also known as the 49ers method.
All right. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Thank you for 150. Next week, if any of you guys want to hop on, we're going to post the link in here. So if you guys want to hop in, we're going to, give you guys like a 5-10 minute cap limit, talk about anything you'd like, anything your little heart desires. Thank you guys for watching. Bye. buy the merch because I want money. I'm not gonna, front it with you. Also, make you look really big in the gym, and ladies.
He'll
will
also
check
give
it
you
out.
his best stock pick. He's a guru.
Yes.
It'll let you bench
Okay.
225 for reps, I've heard.
205. Thank you guys for watching. Do dividends, stocks, not drugs. Check out the weekly recap tomorrow, and of course, always remember, cash flow is
King.
king. Oh yeah.
Booyah.
Oh, thank you. See ya.